How's it going, guys? My name's Wilson. With the NBA back, these next 2 weeks will be a warm-up for what's to come for the 2020 postseason. Some players haven't missed a beat. Here are 8 takeaways from the first weekend of the season's restart. The New Orleans Pelicans and Elvin Gentry being an absolute travesty. I strongly believe the only reason why the NBA installed a 22-team bubble to get Zion in the postseason every way imaginable, playing only limited minutes against the Jazz, wasn't on the floor in crunch time, the reason why they lost. It seems like they're not even trying to get to the playoffs, just letting everything slide. The team needs to focus on paying Brandon Ingram the max and not let the possibility of him walking away, blowing a big lead to the Jazz while they needed a dub in the worst way imaginable. If the Pelicans were the 8th seed before the bubble, I can almost guarantee the NBA would have went straight to the playoffs, adding a couple more exhibition games. The team's still too young, bad on defense. New Orleans does not deserve to make the postseason under any circumstances with their disappointing effort this season. Started 1-7 and 7-23 overall. The team's inability to hold leads, the biggest issue of the season, breaking down in crunch time. Gentry's coaching style simply doesn't match his roster. Even with the 21-game Zion suited up, the team's 10-11 with him on the floor, not really that much better. It's either they play him 30 plus minutes or they don't play him at all. 15 minutes isn't enough. Having a lackluster effort against the Clippers, inexcusable. Having an easy schedule the next 6 games, more talented than any of those teams. Every one of them very winnable. If they lose a couple more, they should just focus on next season and find another coach. Rest in peace to JJ Redick's playoff streak. I might have spoken too soon, but I said it. The Utah Jazz will lose in the first round of the playoffs. After the injury to Bogi Bogdanovic, the team simply doesn't have enough offense. Outside of Gobert, very undersized, gets dominated on the glass. Mike Conley hasn't had a good first year, doesn't have the same chemistry and body language with Gobert as to Marc Gasol, with little to no expectations after the season went south. Mitchell denied having frictions and frustration between him and Rudy for off-court reasons, both deserving all-stars, but Mitchell hasn't made the superstar leap from his rookie season. Gobert's already 28. Outside of the OKC series, Donovan struggled his last 2 series against the Rockets, going 2-8 in those games, 20.4 points on 34% shooting, 25% from 3 as the number 1 option, simply not good enough. Even Gobert's been limited his last 10 postseason games, average under 12 points, 10 rebounds, just 32 minutes. There's still some questions whether he can play in close postseason games in crunch time with the small ball lineup, blown out badly by OKC. I can see them dropping to the 6th seed. The Toronto Raptors, legit contenders and will be tough to beat. Kyle Lowry, the veteran leader of the team, simply knows how to get it done. Dominated the Lakers with timely shots, still playing his best basketball at 34 years old. No doubt the future Hall of Famer will go down as the heart and soul of the Raptors franchise. Grabbed 14 rebounds at 6 foot, a plus 24 against LA. The team's unselfishness and chemistry makes them serious contenders, filling every position, containing LeBron and AD. Kyle was the best player on the court Saturday night, gives his team the confidence against anybody. The Phoenix Suns made yet another mistake, giving up TJ Warren for cash considerations. One of the most dysfunctional franchises the last 10 years, if not the most dysfunctional. The 6'8" small forward has always been a solid scorer on a terrible team, averaged between 18 to 20 points each of the last 3 seasons, was supposed to save his stellar performance against Jimmy Butler, absolutely destroyed Ben Simmons, a career high 53 points, 9 threes, one of the most unexpected 50-point games we have ever seen, went 9 of 10 and scored 24 with Simmons guarding him. Phoenix could have paired Booker up with Doncic and Warren, but no, the organization doesn't have a clue what they're doing. Warren, a great bargain, making just $11 million on the season, under contract till 2022, the most unlikely offensive explosion. Joel Embiid had the most forgotten stat line, 41 points, 21 rebounds, being a plus 21. A Pacers Heat first round series is something we will all look forward to if it happens. Warren gives Indiana hope. Bol Bol, the future of the NBA. The Denver Nuggets continue to be an optimistic team for the future, although their chances of winning are slim this season, with second option Jamal Murray not a true all-star yet. The 7'2" Bo has proven he can ball. Even before the 2019 draft, Shaquille O'Neal said he would take Bol Bol first overall. Dropped all the way to 44 with injuries, had an incredible bounce past his debut. The 20-year-old had a 16-point, 10-rebound, 8-block appearance in the exhibition. Followed that up with double-digit scoring in Denver's next 2 scrimmages. The Nuggets rolling up with the super tall lineup with skinny Jokic at the point, combined with Bol's outside shot. It will be intriguing to see how Bol will fit on the roster and how much he can elevate the franchise. James Harden continues to be the best scorer in the regular season and continues to get overlooked with his post defense. Did a fantastic fantastic job defensively on Giannis in the final minutes. Despite the 2 wins, the Rockets' small ball lineup still a question mark and doubtful against true contenders like the Lakers and Clippers. Despite the 6'7" or less roster being 8-2 against the Bucks, Lakers, Clippers, Celtics, Mavs, and Jazz this season, the Beard hasn't missed a beat over a 4-month layoff. Dropped 49 points on 14 of 20 shooting in Houston's first game back, a 153-149 win over Dallas with no defense played whatsoever. The recipe for the Rockets' success: eliminating a true center, employing a lineup that will cause a lot of stress and energy for the Rockets and other teams. Come postseason time, those teams will slow down and play for real. Russell Westbrook continues to be amazing, desperately needs a huge playoff run. PG Tucker's 35 years old. Dominant interior players like Anthony Davis and Montrezl Harrell will absolutely eat the Rockets alive in the paint. If this team ends up beating the Lakers and Clippers, followed by winning the finals, it would be one of the best playoff runs all time. Highly unlikely, but possible. The race for the 8th seed will be intriguing to say the least, with plenty at stake. Memphis, losers for 3 straight, only 2 games ahead of San Antonio, whose 22-year postseason streak still hanging in the balance. Portland needed a win against Boston, dropped a tight one, now 2.5 out. The Pelicans tied with the Kings and the Suns 4-game out. San Antonio came to Orlando with the 5th easiest schedule, Memphis one of the hardest. Every game simply a playoff game for these teams. The biggest absolute travesty team this past weekend, the Dallas Mavericks, 18 losses on the season by 5 or fewer points, most in the league, having the most efficient offense in league history, the 3rd best net rating in the West, yet they're likely gonna finish the 7th seed, collapsing on defense, not having a true big to contain the rim, blew a 13-point lead to Phoenix at halftime. Inexcusable, but at least the team's experiencing their young growing pains now rather than later, making 1 3 out of 18 tries the second half against the Suns. Tim Hardaway's hit or miss. On the bright side, at least the franchise clinched its first playoff spot without Dirk since 1990. On the not so bright side, they'll likely get destroyed by the Clippers in round 1. Thank you so much for watching this video. What's your biggest surprise the first 4 days of the regular season bubble? Let me know in the comments below. More good stuff coming soon. I love all of you. See you next time.